Piranha Plant has always been able to edgeguard quite nicely with Putui, especially against high recoveries. However, Putui cannot go through this stage, meaning interrupting low recoveries with it can be tricky. You could try going off stage with stealth and using Putui, but that's quite reactable and you may be better off using an aerial or waiting for lead trapping to commence. This means that low recoveries can be quite troublesome to edgeguard with plants, but there is a solution to this, and I call it Rufflecopter. I didn't discover Rufflecopter, and in fact I asked around to see if it already had a name, but I was told it didn't. And so I decided to make a video I would have to name it, because calling it by its inputs every time is just a bit much. Either way though, I don't really intend for it to become its official name, just a placeholder name so I can easily refer to it, and I find the idea of a tech being called Rufflecopter funny. So, what is Rufflecopter? Rufflecopter is a technique plants can use to help edgeguard versus low recoveries by quickly setting Putui at an angle Putui could not normally reach on stage. Due to the nature of Rufflecopter, the Putui comes out faster than if you were to go off stage and manually fire it, making it harder to react to and generally quicker. It's also on the whole a lot more safe than using Putui. The Putui fired from Rufflecopter will not kill. However, it will combo into Long Stem Strike, meaning it is actually great at killing. The combo into Long Stem Strike is ultimately your goal with Rufflecopter. Before we get into the inputs, I'd like to clarify what a wave bounce is to people unaware. After inputting a side B, if you instantly turn the left stick to the opposite direction of what you first input, you will turn to face the new direction and all momentum you had will be carried over, making a technique for movement. It's not always very useful, but Plant Side B allows you to jump out at any given point while being charged, meaning it is safe to use and you can act right out of bouncing the other way. The reason this is relevant is because Wave Bounce Side B is mandatory to performing Rufflecopter correctly. Familiarize yourself with it. To input Rufflecopter, you dash off ledge and immediately Wave Bounce Side B. This cannot be done if Side B is fully charged. Once far enough underneath, jump to cancel the Side B and then input Putui. You need to distance yourself well enough that Putui will collide with the ledge of a stage rather than a wall of it, because it bounces off the ledge of a stage with an active hitbox. Hitting the wall of a stage will not bear fruit. Typically, after inputting Putui, you'll then want to start charging and aiming Long Stem Strike at your opponent to go for the kill once the Putui lands. There are certain situations where you may not want to go for this though, mainly when you've mistimed it and Putui has not connected. In situations like that, it is generally best to go back on stage and instead benefit off of Plant's lead trapping. However, if you believe Long Stem Strike will connect regardless, it isn't a bad idea to go for it. Rufflecopter can be easily performed on Final Destination, Battlefield, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, Yoshi's Story, Town and City, Smashville, and Lilac Cruise. It cannot be performed on Kalos Pokemon League. If you need to use an unorthodox edgeguard on Kalos, I'd recommend using Drop Shot instead, as it can work as a low edgeguard with Kalos' platform layout, which opponents certainly won't expect. Rufflecopter overall isn't very difficult to input, but can take some time to practice at first, especially if you're not used to using wave bounces. Landing it is also not very difficult, but you need to remember to not input it too preemptively, as you may give the opponent time to mix up what they were doing and recover for free. I think that about covers Rufflecopter. It's a flashy way to score a kill via an edgeguard, and overall just a pretty neat thing to be able to do when you can. Wave Bounce Side B has many other capabilities other than Rufflecopter, so even if you don't feel like integrating Rufflecopter into your play, which I suggest you do, you may still want to practice that. Thank you for watching, and I hope this tech can be useful for you. I'm not sure if I'll be covering any other tech on my channel, but if I do, then stay tuned.